Welcome to Impact and Insight Podcast. I'm your host, Abdulkarim Yusuf. In this episode, I shall be discussing tax relief or tax trap. And we will be analyzing the Nigerian Tax Act 2025 for startup companies, like I promised in the last episode when we discussed Taxation 001. Is it truly a tax relief or a tax trap to startup companies? It is often said that taxation is the price paid for organized society. Of course, that's true. But for many Nigerian entrepreneurs, real concern has always been whether the tax system, as we have it, support growth or create more pressure through multiple taxation and complex compliance requirements. I know that the Nigerian Tax Act 2025 tried to reduce the pressure on compliance. Under the new Tax Act, qualifying small companies with annual turnover below 100 million Naira may benefit from exemptions relating to company income tax, capital gain tax, and some statutory levies. This is putting money back into the business. The Act also strengthened recognition for startup operating under the Nigerian Startup Act, potentially improving investors' confidence and encouraging innovation within Nigeria's growing digital economy. It's important to take note of that. On paper, this reform appears positive. For startups, reducing tax pressure could improve cash flow. It could support expansion and allow businesses to reinvest more resources into growth, technology, staffing, and operations, which is what the exemption of the threshold below 100 million Naira tried to achieve. However, critics argue that implementation remains the real issue. How will the NRS implement the law? Many businesses still face multiple levies, inconsistent enforcement, and regulatory overlap from different levels of government. I think this is one area the new Tax Act is trying to regulate. There are also concerns that growing businesses may face significant high obligation once they exceed the exemption threshold. We'll look into that in our later episode. So while the reform promises relief, some entrepreneurs worry that the practical realities may still feel like a tax trap. Ultimately, the success of Nigerian Tax Act 2025 will depend on the following: proper implementation of the Act, ease of compliance, transparency, and whether businesses actually experience meaningful innovation, improvements in the operating environment as promised. As Benjamin Franklin said in his famous quote, "Nothing is certain except death and taxes." But perhaps the biggest question today is, can taxation in an emerging economy like ours evolve from being viewed as a burden into a genuine tool for innovation, investment, and economic development? I think government need to give this level of confidence to our entrepreneurs and to citizens. That means the conversation will continue as to the genuineness and the practicality of how the NRS and other agencies of government will implement all the regulations as specified in the Tax Act. Thank you for listening. Until I come your way in our next episode, stay tuned.